tried to position his Marines in between their main bases and like intercept the mutas as they were coming in, but because there's such a wide area to cover, the mutas kind of just easily skirted around him and went into the main, and then he just had to run back a really long distance to get back into his main base. So I think he tried to play it maybe a little bit too, not aggressively, but, you know, play it like he would on Fighting Spirit, where, you know, he kind of knows exactly where the mutas are coming in, and the base is not quite as easy to go into, so you can pull off these intercept moves a lot more effectively, but didn't quite work out there. Anyway, going into game number 2 here, looks like we're going to be on Circuit Breaker. So far the map order is the same as the round of 16 best of 3. Hopefully this isn't actually a best of 3. I'm pretty sure it's not. That'd be kind of funny. Anyway, looks like we will have... Oh, no, not that. We'll have that. Good. So here bottom right, Mong, bottom left. Oh yeah, Sarah123 also makes a good point that Mong did lose a significant chunk of dudes in that failed drop. 2 drops was worth doing basically no damage, which was not very good. So Circuit Breakers, nice big 4-player map. Could potentially see a longer game than on Mist. Although I think if it does go to the super late game, Hero's probably going to struggle even more. I think Hero's best chance actually is probably just to try and close this out early in the mid game, perhaps. Just do like a giant lurker attack like that, because I'm not convinced with, you know, Mong's late game TVZ control that Hero will stand much chance. As Hero has some pretty sloppy control in general. Last game it was okay, but yeah, it can be quite dubious at times. Especially given that Mong beat Killer in some long games as well, so that was pretty impressive. Anyway, the first Overlord Scout's vertically, so he's not going to go and see his opponent straight away, but that's fine. And he's just going to 12 patch anyway. And on the other side, we just have 1 barracks, presumably going into a 1 racks expand. These kinds of openings in TVZ kind of, you know, don't really deviate that much. It's almost always going to be 12 patch versus 1 racks expand. You know, you got the occasional 8 racks thrown in there, the occasional 9 pull from Quanro, but that's about it. And we're going to have a 2-inch muta build again here from Hero. Good times. I mean, it worked out pretty well for him last game. And of course, Modesty showed us an amazing ZVT where it worked out amazingly on this map. So it's good to go. So we got double SCV scout now as well for Mong. Just heading over here to Hero's base. Now the air distance between the bases is going to be a little bit longer this time. So Mong will have a bit more space to maneuver, and of course there's a lot less surface area to worry about in the main. What I mean is, if you notice, if you just look at the main base now, I'm going to try and just like mouse over this, that is basically the area of the main that you have to worry about the mutas coming in. So you got like the natural area and the main base. It's kind of just like a little corner here, a little rectangle in the corner of the map. Whereas the main base position on Mist was like here, right? So you basically have to defend the entire arc, the entire angle, from Mutalisks. They can come in from any direction. Whereas here, it's basically you're cutting that down significantly. The amount of area you have to worry about. So so I think that's one reason why the mutas were so effective last game, or just in general on Mist. It's quite strong. In addition to the short air distances. Anyway, looks like SCV guy just gonna run around, get pushed away. And gonna die in a second here. I'm interested to see where Hero takes his 3rd base, or whether he even takes it as quickly as he did last game. Of course, we saw him last game get that inside minute only very quickly, possibly even before his lair was done. I'm not sure. Maybe just after the lair was done. But on this game, obviously, you have no free protected minute only like that. So is he just going to take a gas base, say at the top right main? I think that's probably what's going to happen here. And this is the kind of thing I was mentioning last game where this makes a lot more sense to me to get that gas base. The minute only, not so much. But see, this is going to be quite nice. And also, due to the spawn locations, that third base is going to be cross-map. So if Mong does want to attack that, he's going to have to walk really, really far, go through a big open area in the middle of the map to go and attack this base. So in that sense, it's not going to be too easy for him. It looks like the Spire is almost done now. So, oh, Link's poking around the front. I like this little building placement in the front of the natural. It might look a little bit strange because it's not like he didn't, you know, really make a wall or anything necessarily. But what he did do is that depot positioning will really screw up any kind of attempts to like do a links around on the bunker. In the meantime, here just being a little bit cute here, grabbing an SCV. But this kind of little skirmishing is just, you know, because the players don't have too much else to do, so they're just, you know, using some of their massive APM to goof around. But yeah, that depot will essentially screw up any attempts to try and run in and bust that bunker. It's kind of partially like an AI thing. Ooh, and I like that. Look at that. He left a perfect little slot there for the comsat. That is quite cute as well. So the comsat actually helps to wall that off. I did not realize that would happen. That is actually... I mean, this is fairly obvious now that I think about it, but I did not realize that the comsat would go there. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Good stuff. So, looks like the mutas are now out. We got 6 mutas on the way. And, well, let's see how much damage he can do this time. Now, this time Mong's Marines aren't actually wandering around the middle of the map to intercept. They're just chilling in the main. I think this is a better plan of action. Although he's got to be a little bit careful. Because if he stands in the main too much, Hero could potentially just... Oh my god, he could potentially kill the stream. Wait, whose fault is this? Was that Sonic's? That looked like Sonic's Observer's desktop there. That was not... Well, it certainly wasn't me. It was all like a bunch of Korean. And I'm pretty sure that wasn't CA who's providing the restream. So, I think Sonic's Observer literally just alt-tabbed or something out of the game. Or I don't know what happened there. That was really weird. Oh, man. Anyway, the muta's coming in here. There is a nice little area at the back of the natural to do some harassment. It's not as big as areas on Fighting Spirit, but you can get some stuff done, as you can see. In the meantime, the Marines are actually moving out, though. So Mong, you know, he doesn't quite want to engage there underneath that little cliff thing where the mutas will have an advantage. He wants to force the engagement on the open ground. If he can make the mutas fight on the open ground, he has a lot more options to micro with the Marines. He can just stim and run under the mutas, and it becomes a lot more difficult for Hero to really abuse the muta stack. In the meantime, it looks like the Hydra Den is up. Going to be going for some lurkers, but really needs to use these mutas to keep these Marines back a little bit longer. At least he can get until he can get a couple of lurkers at both his natural and the top right base, because the muta Ling, unless he makes a whole bunch of Lings and goes in for a big surround, it's going to be difficult for him to actually engage the Marines head on. And there are more Marines coming out here, and I mean, this is a little bit dangerous. It looks like the first Hydra is out now. The Lings are going to see all these Marines coming out. It looks like he's just going to go in with only 6 Lings, but actually it looks like he might just have enough mutas here. The mutas cleaning up almost all the forces. The reinforcing Marines, though, are coming in just in time at least to save the medics. And that's actually quite a crucial rescue there. So even though he lost a good chunk of his Marine force, kept the medics alive, and is going to keep the pressure on. But I think that little attack is going to be enough now for the lurkers to get up and keep these bases defended. So we are going to go to a longer game. Mong gonna run around a little bit. I hope he doesn't just, you know, try and bust up the ramp and be fancy or anything like that, because it'll likely go poorly. And looks like Muta's gonna poke around a little bit more, but there the lurkers finish, and things will be absolutely fine. Notice he didn't just, you know, panic borrow them straight away. He did pull them back a little bit. You always want to borrow the lurkers a little bit back from the top of the ramp. If you borrow them directly on the ramp, or even directly at the top of the ramp, the Marines can actually shoot them while spread out on the low ground instead of funneling into the ramp. You want the Marines to come up onto the ramp in order to attack you, so that you can get the perfect little line to skewer them with. Oh my god, are those hold lurkers? Those are almost certainly hold lurkers. Or they could just be non-stop lurkers and just trying to get free intercept kills. Oh my god, is this the perfect positioning? Oh my god, why are we going FP view? This is the worst way to see stop lurkers. Because if he's not looking at the lurkers, then we'll miss it. And if he's looking at the lurkers, then he'll like take minimum damage. It's like lose-lose situation. Anyway. Looks like a couple of mutas falling here. But the Marine group is too small to really do anything now. So they're just basically going to have to sit there. They can't even go home, really. They have to just kind of wait for a reinforcement group to save them. If they try and walk out, they could just get taken apart by Lings. Right now they're chilling like on the inside of those bridges, so even if a few Lings come over, they have a slightly better position, but yeah, they're basically just going to sit there for a while. Anyway, +1 attack is done for the Marines, though. And Hero, as you can see, going up for his hive. Meanwhile, the mute is coming out once again. I like that Mong has actually left like half of his army on that side of the bridges. It can be a little bit risky if Hero just suddenly goes in with a whole bunch of units, although it's fairly unlikely that he could afford, you know, a significant number of units at this point. He's going Greater Spy, though, getting some Guardians. But yeah, what I was going to say was you don't want, you know, a couple of lurkers to burrow on the other side of those bridges. But oh god, oh, he scans! He does the flash scan! Oh my god! The completely just seemingly random scan right in the middle of the map, anticipating stop lurkers here. Fantastic, absolutely amazing game sense by Mong right there. I remember when Flash did this in, I don't know if it was Pro League or a Star League, where he scanned what literally looked like a random part of Fighting Spirit, where there just happened to be 2 stop lurkers. Like the scan landed almost directly on top of them, and he just killed the lurkers without, you know, taking almost no damage, and it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Now, if you're wondering why he did that, I think it's because he thought that there should have been lurkers at the front of his natural. Usually, the Zerg would be kind of trying to pressure, or not even pressure, but just kind of keep the Marines back as long as possible, especially on the other side, on these bridges. On Circuit Breaker, very easy, obviously, to just to prevent Marines from crossing if you just have a couple of lurkers. So Mong was probably a little bit confused why he still hadn't seen any lurkers go towards his base yet, and therefore anticipated that there would be stop lurkers. And it looks like he's just going to make a run for it. It looks like the lurkers might be a little bit too far back. Oh my goodness, he's going to take a lot of damage though, and a lot of lurkers coming in from the back. And Mong with a suicidal attack up the ramp. Oh my goodness, has just thrown away his entire Marine force. Man, if he was going to do that, he should have just walked on the stop lurkers and just died there. That would have been a lot funnier. Oh my god. Anyway, he's going in for a drop here at the main base. Looks like he will actually get the Defiler Mound, which is quite nice. Man, if he stopped Consume from finishing there, that's actually pretty huge. It's just too bad he has no army left with which to capitalize on that. Anyway. Looks like, oh, the Marine group trying to do some fancy micros. They did a pretty good job. Look at that micro. Oh my god, that's really good micro. Man, that was good. That was good. Too bad he, you know, couldn't have controlled his whole army a little bit better, but I like this. I like this. He's doing the boxer. Alright. Anyway, that's going to get cleaned up. And we do see the beginnings of the mech switch in the main base, adding on those 3 factories. I think there's a command center at his mineral only as well. I think that's what that is. And he's got a random SCV at the 6 o'clock. I'm pretty sure that's just for spotting to see if any bad guys are coming in there. But we do have the Guardians finished now, although it looks like the Guardians and 2 Devourers as well, morphed at the top right. Those seem to have been morphed like previously when the Marines were attacking up there, so I don't know why they're Devourers and not Guardians. But hey, the Guardians also morphed in kind of a funky location. They're just at the natural instead of near the Terran, so it's gonna be a little bit tricky for them to actually walk across the map. I would have expected him to morph at least a couple of Guardians just right behind Mong's natural. I'm not sure why he didn't do that. So that's a little bit awkward. In the meantime, looks like got some Dark Swarm. Helping to defend these lurkers. I still don't know whether Consume actually died in the Defiler Mound or not. I don't think I've seen it consume yet, so it's quite possible it did. And a bit of a foolish vessel there getting picked off. I thought, actually I'm not sure, did Mong go 2-port vessel again? I guess he didn't, because he had a couple of siege tanks with his first attack, and he basically has no vessel. So I guess he actually didn't do the same strategy as he did last game, going 2-port. He just went for a normal 1-port and got siege tanks. And oh, he's going to try and get the Nice Canal. He does get the Nice Canal, but he's lost too many units getting it down. So this drop isn't going to be too effective, and he can't even keep dropping because the Devourers are actually attacking that dropship. That is actually, I don't know if that's intentional from Hero to have actually morphed those there to stop drops, but that is a ridiculously effective way of preventing this kind of elevator, because if you only use Scourge, sometimes the Terran can just chill on the low ground and like snipe your Scourge to protect the dropship. But if you have Devourers, obviously, it's not really possible. So that is surprisingly effective. Anyway, looks like oh, the drop actually makes it into the top right main regardless. So he's gonna go in now, and they're actually, and he did get the Nidus Canal the first time, so there's only a couple of units here left. Hopefully there are some more units at the natural there to help the space. So Hero could be in a little bit of trouble. It's like we're having some buffering on the Frigga stream. And it's like he's going in there. There is only a single lurker. Meanwhile, though, Guardians attacking his mineral only. How good is the micro here? There's only a couple of lurkers, but there's a Defiler there, so he's going to have to run out. So can't really do too much there. I think that Defiler also just consumed a drone. In the meantime, this damage dropship is actually somehow making it back home. A few vultures here trying to deny this mineral only, or just, you know, intercept any units coming out. Not going to do too much. Looks like the Guardians are actually going to get taken out. Maybe? No. Looks like the Marines... Is this guy gonna? No, this guy's not gonna win. but only a single Guardian left. A bit of a waste of those Guardians. I'm not sure how many Marines they killed, but Guardians are pretty expensive. And again, I'm not sure why he didn't have a couple morph behind the Terran's natural. Even if it's just one or two, if you can just force out an irradiate or something just on one Guardian, that's not too bad, I guess. Well, maybe it's not ideal either. I don't know. Anyway, whoa, hello siege tanks. So we have a bunch of tanks rolling out now. While the 4th command center, yes, the 4th command center goes out over to the 9 o'clock. We got a few mines here, not that many, because Mong doesn't seem to have done the complete mech switch. I think he's still got a few barracks or something. He's still got a few. Oh my God, what are you doing with the tanks? What are you doing with the tanks? No, whoa, whoa, whoa. A move into that base. Yeah, that's not a good idea. Oh, he's going for the Nidus though. Is he gonna get the Nidus? He gets the Nidus. He gets the other Nidus. Oh no, but Ling's coming in from the back. Take out all but one of the siege tanks. The last siege tank might even fall. The last siege tank falls to a Hero Zergling. So, like 5 siege tanks there did almost no damage to Hero there. He just sniped a Nidus Canal and a couple of units, and that was it. Oh my God. I said Mong should have the advantage in the late game ZVT, but not if he plays like this. Not if he plays like this at all. What are these tanks doing? Are you rallied there? Why are you rallied to his base? Stop that. Don't do that. What is he doing? Where are you going? Why are you walking around with 6 siege tanks, man? You can't do that in any matchup. Like, oh my God, what is going on here? All right, looks like maybe he was trying to reposition to defend this base at the top left, but that's gonna get denied by a couple of lurkers. I really hope that Overlord scooting around the 6 o'clock is a drop, like a lurker drop, because that'd be quite cute. And by cute, I mean deadly. The best kind of cute. You know, it's like the little bunny from Monty Python. That's what this drop is. Look at this. He's all cute and innocent, and he just drops 2 lurkers and kills all your SCVs. Oh God, run away! Okay, what? Why would you need to swarm there? Actually, you know what? I take it back. I take it back. Actually, I quite like the swarm there. At first, I was like, well, why didn't he just put 2 lurkers there? But then I realized this actually is a lot more effective, because if the Terran is on the ball and has good reaction time, generally he'll be able to pull the SCVs before your lurkers can do too much. But if you put a swarm there with 1 lurker, the lurker is effectively invincible. So for the duration of the swarm, that base cannot mine. So I think in terms of overall lost mining time, 1 lurker, 1 swarm might be better. But on the other hand, if Mong reacted too late and there were 2 lurkers, see, this could kill SCVs. But you see, it doesn't. It doesn't, because Mong's reaction time is really, really good. So if he had dropped 2 lurkers at the mineral only, it's quite likely that would have happened, and he would have just denied mining for like 10 seconds, and that's it. But by dropping the swarm there, he's denied it for a lot longer. So that's quite interesting. That's very, very interesting. Anyway, we do have the complete mech switch now. That drop is not going to go well. Unless there's a Defiler there, in which case it'll go fine. Well, maybe not. This is a There's the thing. There's the science vessels. Oh no! Oh no! Another drop! I'm pretty sure that's another drop. One of the overlords is gonna die with all the units inside it. Looks like one lurker is still under the swarm though, and he's actually run out of irradiates. So again, gonna be denied there for a little bit. While this other drop does get taken care of. So Hero trying to make some nice plays here with the drops. The problem is Mong is now mining on 4 base, and Hero is still on 4 base. Like, Hero needs to take another base here. Like, all these drops and things are fine, but, well, I say fine. The last couple have just kind of got shut down. But I think the thing is that Hero, doesn't really want to try and engage the Terran head-on here. Facing a mech army head-on is pretty painful, especially when there's like a lot of mines on the map and you're not really sure where you stand. So just going around and trying doing these sneaky counterattacks is pretty cool. And looks like he's going to get a couple of these tanks again, force the SCVs to pull from the mineral only once again, and he's just going to be able to chill here until the Dark Swarm runs out. The Lurkers are completely invincible under Swarm while burrowed. They won't even take splash tank damage. They could, the fire bats and spider mines will still damage them, but I mean realistically, those aren't going to appear. I mean, spider mines are obviously on the map, but you can't lay them around the lurkers like that under Dark Swarm. Anyway, it looks like, wow, 3-2 done. 3-2 done for the Zerg, and only 2-1 done for the Terran. And that's one problem with this this mech switch, is that your upgrades are going to be behind the Zerg when you do this. If because you start off upgrading bio, you might get +1 attack, and I think you generally get +1. You get 1-1 for your medic marine first. And then you switch into mech, and then you start getting the mech upgrades. But that means you're basically one level of upgrades behind, compared to if you just stuck with one set of units. Whereas the Zerg obviously is just gonna get carapace and melee anyway, so he's just gonna get his upgrades. Looks like a couple more overlords coming over here. That command center actually looks like it's less than half health. He could actually use a queen to infest that. And that's not even like, a completely BM move. It's actually completely legitimate if there's a partially damaged command center somewhere random and you can't quite get enough units there to finish it off, to just scoot a random queen in and infest it, because queens are really, really fast. And you don't need to spend time damaging it. As soon as the queen touches the command center, it'll just infest it and it's instantly dead. It's basically like an instant kill on a half-dead command center. So that's actually a completely legitimate play, I think. Not sure if Hero realizes this is possible, because you can see there's basically no anti-air there either. You can quite easily run a queen along the bottom side in and just grab that. That was an interesting Ultralisk drop there, by the way. I mean, it killed a few tanks, but in general, I'm not quite sure how effective this is going to be. I don't know whether it's better to save them and do like a massive drop somewhere. Like this is much better. You see, he's gonna grab these tanks. He's probably gonna take down the 9 o'clock base, or at least I thought he was. I thought there were more Ultralisks coming in from the right side, but I don't know where they went. And oh my god, this drop though, getting absolutely annihilated at the top left. Look at this. Mong is just in pure defense mode right now. Oh, it looks like a couple Ultralisks do break through to the 9 o'clock. But Mong is actually just not really able to attack. Hero is the one just non-stop attacking Mong with lots of drops. Very cool to watch active style. My only concern for him is, he's got to make these be fairly effective. Oh man, grabbing a few free Sea Shanks here as well. I don't know why Mong had 3 Sea Shanks there that far forward. He should just have everything at home to defend right now, because if he just splits the map and Hero doesn't trade that efficiently with these drops, then Mong will win the game eventually. But look at this, Mong, because he only has like 3 siege tanks in every location, the drops are being ridiculously effective. Mong needs to group up a little bit more, but he just can't, because Hero is not letting up on the pressure. This is a ridiculous way to play late game ZVT. This is actually amazing. I mean, I am really impressed with Hero so far. His trades aren't always the best here. He is throwing away a lot of units, but he is making a serious effort here to break down the Terran before he can establish himself, because that's one of the most difficult and most frustrating things in ZVT, is when you get to the super late game, when Terran has turrets and mines everywhere, and it's just impossible for you to attack anything. All you can do is kind of die a slow death. But Hero's just trying to stop this game before it even gets to that point. He's trying to hit the Terran before the mech ball really gets rolling while he's in the low numbers. Look at this! The upgrades have actually now caught up here, 3-2 for the mech, but the numbers haven't caught up. So, if Hero can gauge as much as possible while the mech ball hasn't gotten rolling yet, that's when he can get the most efficient engagements. And you can see, even then, even though this is kind of an ideal time to attack, he's still not able to get the best trades every time. Because Mong is still doing a pretty decent job macroing up. The mech army is still very, very effective. And crucially, Mong has an insane economy backing this up, because even though Hero's doing quite a bit of damage to the units in the army, the only real economic damage he's done was at the 9 o'clock base. Otherwise, he hasn't really been able to make much headway in any of the other expansions. So Mong's economy now is getting a little bit out of control, and Hero's not even really expanded. Oh my god, Hero has been on his original 4 base for like this entire time. I can't believe he's not at least taking a mineral only. He's now making a mineral only at the bottom right, but that is actually, I think, quite a fundamental error. I'm sure he has excess minerals if he's making that many Ultralisks to throw away. He had to have had enough minerals to make another hatchery, and looks like he is now going to again get the top right mineral only as well. But he's gonna. But I mean, you know, he needs a gas. I don't know. He should just take the 3 o'clock as well, I think, at the same time. And he has to think about how to play from there, because the 6 and the 12 will not be easy to take and hold against the Terra Mech army. It'll be very easy for Mong to actually push across there. I feel like in that regard, it's a little bit difficult for Zerg to play late game ZVT on this map without already having an advantage. Because if you try and split this map, I don't think it's going to go very well for you. Anyway, Mong now looking a lot more comfortable here. It looks like Hero is starting to run out of resources. His main and his mineral are, his main and his natural are already completely dry here. So he's effectively on just the top right 2 bases and now the mineral only. Really not much economy to be supporting this many units. And yeah, it looks like Mong now, having held off so many drops, so much pressure from Hero, is now moving out. And GG, Hero has nothing left to stop the advance of the Terran. And despite putting a, pardon the pun, heroic effort there in stopping the game from getting to that late game situation, just couldn't quite pull it off, and Mong will even up the series 1-1. But man, Hero has brought out a couple of pretty awesome games so far, so I am really happy about this. This is gonna be a pretty awesome best of 5.
매치 포인트입니다. 어떤 경기 나올까요? 경기 가보도록 하죠.
All right, it looks like we're gonna